Hello, Melissa Marino here. I am in Polk County at the Emergency Operations Center. Just wanted to give you an update on all the things happening here and an update on the preparation. So I'm going to spin this around. I am getting ready to talk to Mayanne Nelson. She is with the county. She's the spokesperson, communications director. So let me just get my mic out here. First, let's do two things at once here. So Mayanne, what updates can you tell us? I know for one, schools just canceled in Polk County for Tuesday.
Yes, we're anticipating that shelters are going to be full until sometime late Monday evening at best, depending upon what time the storm lets up, which means we still have to have some time the next day to go in on Tuesday, turn those schools back into classrooms again to be ready for kids to be back in those buildings on Wednesday.
And so I was talking to a fellow the other day. He was in a mobile home, and he said his concern was the only pet-friendly one was Far East, but you've opened at least one other pet-friendly one.
Yes, we have. We've opened one in Lakeland as well. So if you are in question about that, you can go to our website, you can go to our social media pages, our Facebook, and we list the shelters, and we will designate which ones are pet-friendly and which ones are non-pets.
Okay, so I'm going to switch hands here and show everyone kind of what's going on. So who do we see here right now in the room, and what's going on? What's everyone doing?
There are a lot of different organizations working this room right now today. A lot of the folks are from divisions within the Board of County Commissioners. We have law enforcement from across the county, from our cities and municipalities, as well as the Sheriff's Office. We have representatives from our cities who are here. These are our voices, our liaison, back and forth to people that are embedded in their city EOCs to know what's going on so that we all can communicate and share information together in order to help our residents. We have people here from TECO and from Duke Energy, so as power starts to go out, they'll be able to keep us abreast as to where those outages are, how many people are affected, when trucks are actually getting back into neighborhoods, getting people back online for some relief from power. We're seeing folks that are here helping to work with the sheltering situation. Folks are still calling in today wanting to be into a special needs shelter, so we're trying to accommodate them and make sure they have transportation if they need to. Of course, you have a lot of emergency management people here who are on the side now to think about recovery. How are we going to go out and push roads and clean again so that people can have roads that are not impassable? How are we going to make sure that our utilities are up, that people have water? All of those people are embedded today in the EOC. We're going to start around-the-clock operations tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock, so we'll be here until the storm's over and we can get people back to their normal lives.
So I know we do not have any mandatory evacuations, but people in mobile homes and flood-prone areas, they've been told to evacuate or seek shelter, urged.
Yes, we did change this morning our voluntary evacuation to a mandatory evacuation for our mobile home communities, our manufactured home communities, and those people that are specifically in 5 or 6 areas around the county that are historically flood-prone, and especially if those are areas where there's only one way out, one way in, one way out in a flooding situation, so that we can safely keep those neighborhoods with law enforcement and not have to do emergency rescue.
So change their mandatory evacuations for mobile homes
Yes.
and flood areas.
Yes.
That's important.
That is important. And shelters are open. We have 16 shelters, public shelters, open now all across the county. We opened more shelters in the Lakeland area this morning that are, well, mostly due to because the storm is tracking more west, so we've moved more shelters open on the west side of the county as well.
What can people take to shelters, especially too if they have pets?
If you're going to a pet shelter for your pets, you need to make sure that you have papers to show your pets have vaccinations. We don't want anybody getting bit, scratched, clawed, anything at a shelter from someone's animal and then have an issue. So make sure you take their food with them and make sure that if the pet needs a toy or a blanket to sleep on, that you have those as well. Now for you and I going to a shelter, it's really important that we take a blanket or a sleeping bag, our pillow with us. If we have kids, we want to take pillows or toys or blankets that are comfortable to them, that they would have at home and feel really attached to. That's important that they're as calm as the kids can be. Take some changes of clothing, take your personal hygiene kit with you, and I urge everybody to take patience. It's not easy when you're going into a room with hundreds of people. Cots are close so that we can get as many people in as we can, and we want to be good neighbors to everybody around us.
So speaking of shelters, what are we seeing right now? I'm hearing some evacuees from further south are coming up to the shelters.
We opened Kathleen High School yesterday early for people that were coming up from the south, and we do have people that are presenting at the shelters in Polk County that are from Miami-Dade and from Broward and from those areas. So we of course want to help them the most as we can. And we have, as of about noon hour today, about 2,300 people that have already populated our shelters. We have room for a couple thousand more easily, and some of them in each shelter. So make sure you check and see if you want to, but we'll make sure we direct you to a place that's safe.
Are you seeing anyone from Pinellas, Tampa, since they've been under mandatory evacuations?
I haven't asked that question, but I'm sure that there are, and those are people that are more likely to be in the Lakeland shelters.
Okay, and so I know there's been some controversy over the sheriff's comments about not letting sex offenders in, but the county is standing behind that point.
It's really important that we protect everyone who's coming to a shelter, especially if you're bringing your children with you. You don't want to be in a close proximity to someone who might have had a history that is less than stellar, and you want to know that your neighbor is safe on the cot next to you or in an area around you. We want to make sure that people are safe. When we tell people they need to bring their social security cards, their passports, their important papers, their jewelry, not to leave those things at home, we want to make sure that we provide a safe place for them. So we do have to stand behind the sheriff's comments and his tweets, in that he is going to make sure that his deputies are checking IDs to make sure our shelters are safe places.
Okay, so back to some of the crucial hurricane information. What are we seeing with sandbags? I knew before we were running out, but now I'm seeing some locations do still have sandbags.
The city of Haines City added sandbags today, which is good for them. We officially at noon today shut down restocking our sandbag locations for the county. There's sand available. At some of the sites there are still bags available, and people may go help themselves until it's gone. But in order to turn our people around so that they're able to start after tomorrow on the recovery phase of the hurricane, we're actually not staffing those sites anymore. First come, first served till the sand is gone. We aren't replenishing now.
Okay, and if you could urge people, because I know Walmart's closing, Publix closing, they need to get out now to get their supplies, to get their water, but also, like you said, have patience.
Absolutely, and if you're not going to get out for water, it doesn't hurt to fill the bathtub, just so you have water to use if your system goes down, or perhaps the system backs up and pumps quit because of no electricity. You know that you have safe water to drink or water to boil. Some people are needing to have water on hand to help with their septic systems if those stop working in case of a storm. So always good to have water, but yes, do get out today, get your supplies so that you have the comfort of knowing tomorrow you're ready.
And one other thing, for the people who are choosing not to evacuate their mobile homes, since it is now a mandatory evacuation for mobile homes in Polk County, when those winds kick up, they will not be able to get help until things kind of calm down, correct?
That's correct. Once the winds get above 45, about 50 miles an hour, high-profile vehicles like ambulances and fire trucks cannot go out safely in those kinds of situations and conditions. So they stop running. We will try as much as we can to embed an emergency management, emergency services, an EMT, a paramedic, embedded with sheriff's deputies into some of their cars where we can. But they're not going to go into flooded areas where it's not safe for them, and so you will pretty much be on your own after the winds kick up and we have to pull vehicles off the street.
Thank you, Mayanne, so much for joining us
You're
and
welcome.
Giving us this valuable update. Thank you very much.
Be safe.
Thank you, and you too. So I'm going to show everyone now around here. Again, we are at the Emergency Operations Center, and these are folks from agencies all over Polk County. They are here coordinating ahead of the storm, and when the storm hits, they will be here making sure that they're coordinating any type of efforts that are needed afterwards. And as Mayanne said, now trailer parks in flood-prone areas are under a mandatory evacuation in Polk County. So if you choose to stay and the winds pick up, first responders will not be able to come help you. So shelters are open. There are a number of locations. There are now at least 2 pet-friendly locations, because I know I talked to somebody who didn't want to leave his trailer because his pets. So you should really consider getting out and getting to one of these shelters. And they're accepting people now. Special needs shelters are making accommodations. They are picking them up, transporting special needs patients to these shelters. And again, you can see people are they're
monitoring the radar. There's people here from the Department of Health, from the Sheriff's Office, just all different agencies here coordinating efforts, making sure that everyone stays safe. And again, Polk County School District is now closed on Tuesday. And as Mayanne had said, that is to make sure to give, because the schools are used as shelters, so that's to give time to these schools in the recovery efforts. So people will obviously need shelter long after, you know, at least a day or two after the storm passes. So that is why the schools will be closed again on Tuesday. And as Mayanne said, if you need supplies, you need to head out today. There are a number of stores, Publix, Walmart, that are closing today, a little later in the afternoon. So now is the time to go get the gas, to go get the supplies. I got some extra stuff yesterday. I know there was still water. You have to be patient, and you're not going to get maybe a case. You're going to get some single bottles of water, but you got to get what you can get. Same with gas. I went to a gas station before I went to the store, and there was no gas. When I came out, there was gas. So you just got to be patient. And of course, there's a line, but I was still able to get gas, and I was able to get regular gas. And as she said, the county sandbag locations are not refilling, but there is some sand at these locations, and also in Haines City, and I even saw in Lake Wales that they have sand at some of their locations. So there is still sand. Today is the day if you have to go out, buy supplies, get sand, board up your windows. As you can see, I mean, these folks, they're going to be staying here. I see some bags, some pillows, some suitcases, some blankets. They are going to be staying here throughout the storm to keep you guys safe, to keep things running basically here in the county, and to coordinate everything from 911 calls to rescue calls. Right now they are getting people into shelters, people with special needs. They are here to make sure that things run smoothly. And as you can see, I mean, the number of people here from the different agencies is just incredible how many people are here. And they're going to do this throughout the storm. They're going to hunker down. And as Mayanne said, if you can't get water, fill up your bathtub. That will at least help you, you know, maybe to kind of bathe yourself or to flush your toilet, because we know when the water and the power goes out, you're going to need that water for that. I know a lot of people I've seen have been getting juice containers or using empty old water containers to fill up with water. And again, shelters are open in all of the Bay Area counties. The time to go is now. You do not want to be caught up in the storm and then trying to get to a shelter. So if you are concerned at all, just get to a shelter. There are plenty of pet-friendly shelters. And as Mayanne said, make sure you take all of your important documents. Take a pillow, take blankets, take bedding for your family, take your toiletries, and for your pets. They need carriers, they need proof that they have their shots, they need their food, and they need whatever they need to go to the bathroom. Just the essentials. So take the essentials for your family, take the essentials for your pets. Again, here at the Polk County EOC Center, as you can see, things are really ramped up here. And I wanted to show you outside here, as we walked in and saw this. Do you know what the flags mean out here?
Thank you.
Oops, sorry.
The flag was circling the entire event.
So as you can see, the flag's flying here, the red with the black square. That means hurricane? Yeah. That means basically the hurricane is coming. So as we were walking up, it's just interesting to see that, see the flags. Thank you so much.
The sign-in sheet, is it still on YouTube?
It's coming.
All right, thanks.
Okay, well, I'm going to sign off here now, give you one last look here in the EOC. It pretty much looks like this throughout the Bay Area, all the different counties. EOC centers are full of staff that are trying to keep you safe. They're going to be here throughout the storm, but the biggest message here is they want you to get prepared. Go out today, finish everything you need to do, and then hunker down, whether that's at your house or in a shelter, get there and get there safe.